All right, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, everyone. It's Dr. E from the day's date. It's November 9th, 2022. And if you're listening to the sound of my voice, that means you were blessed to see another day. And for that, all praise, honor, and glory is due to the Most High God of Israel. All right, Shalom, everyone. Today, one of the lessons I'm going to tackle, I have a pretty busy day today, but it's in the pipelines. It's been in the pipelines for a minute, but this particular lesson I'm addressing this morning is I'm going to talk about the this big debate, and it's been going on for a while, really online, about rather blacks or Africans are indigenous to the Americas, specifically North America. Okay, are we native to America? Now, my thing is this. Let me just start off by saying, first of all, as an Israelite, I don't like to put emphasis or put too much focus on things that don't profit me or my people. And what I mean, when I say profit, I don't mean like profit financially. I mean profit from a biblical sense, meaning it doesn't do us any justice. It doesn't do anything for us in terms of moving us along with getting back to our covenant with God, and getting out of these curses that we find ourselves in. All across the world because of the scattering of the lost tribes of Israel. So, I mean, but it's interesting to say the least. I mean, you got a bunch of us that feel, we're Moors, we're indigenous to America, we were here first, this and that. I mean, listen, my thing is this: at the end of the day, I think it's pretty much accepted by science, by just about everyone, anthropologists, geologists, archaeologists, that the cradle of civilization is Africa, right? That's where everything started. The first man was a black man. Black people were here first. If you look at even from a genetic standpoint, you won't find the bones or fossils of a quote unquote European person who's older than you would find of a black person. You're just not going to find that. It doesn't exist because blacks are indigenous to the world, right? So that being said, and I'm not trying to start like whole nother argument or whatever, but what I'm saying is, it doesn't shock me or takes me out of the realm of possibility that Africans could be indigenous to America. Africans could have been here first. Because, I mean, if we're the first of civilization, I mean, come on, right? I'm gonna be honest with you. What intrigues me more is where the hell the Native Americans come from. That's what kind of intrigues me more. Because, like, dude, they definitely was over here chilling. Columbus there's no writing that, to my knowledge, of meeting any Africans. He met them, all across the Caribbean and the North America, South America, whatever have you. So, I mean, I don't know, but we're going to look at it from two sides. I'm going to present from two sides. Of course, the detractors are saying, oh no, Africans didn't start the Olmec civilization, even though we have this big old statue head with the features that clearly looks African. But again, to be fair, when I look at that feature, to be honest with you, my first thought, well, one of my first thoughts was African, yes. But actually, when I looked at it, I was like, wow, that person, that statue looks more kind of like Samoan, which Samoans have, Polynesian backgrounds. They have a lot of the same features that we do, right? So, a lot of the detractors saying, oh, you just black people trying to be overzealous and trying to claim everything, yada, yada, yada. Well, I mean, like I said, when you understand that the cradle of civilization started in Africa, it is not out of the realm of possibility that Africans could have been here first, and it could be indigenous to the Americas, North America specifically. So anyway, that being said, let's have a little fun. Let's talk about it. I'm going to present both sides, and then you at the end of the day, you can decide what you will. All right, it's Dr. Ephraim signing off, saying Shalom, elect. All right, so I'm going to start from the perspective of someone who believes that Africans are, in fact, indigenous to North America, okay? And the person who I'm attributing this perspective from is a Mr. Paul Barton. The date is November 7th, 2019. Okay, so I am citing him as the source and the reference, as this is coming from his perspective. Okay, so it says Afro-Olmecs came from the Mende regions of West Africa. This is his position. That's the title of the article, okay? And it goes, although archaeologists have used the name Olmec to refer to the black builders of ancient Mexico's first civilizations, recent discoveries have proven that these Afro-Olmecs were West Africans of the Mende language and cultural group. Inscriptions found on ancient monuments in parts of Mexico show that the script used by the ancient Olmecs was identical to that used by the ancient and modern Mende-speaking peoples of West Africa. Racially, the colossal stone heads are identical in features to West Africans, and the language deciphered on Olmec monuments is identical to the Mende language of West Africa. And then it has in parentheses, see Clyde A. Winters on the internet. Now, let me stop there real quick. Now, obviously, you all know me, and I do my due diligence. And I understand this is coming from this writer's perspective. So, when I read that that there were actually inscriptions on monuments, that was key to me, because I look for things like that. I look for linguistic and archaeological type, proof of stuff like that. So when I read that, I was like, okay, great. Let me see if I can find these inscriptions on these monuments in parts of Mexico. Well, let me tell you something. I searched high and low. I did all kinds of different types of searches. I didn't find anything that this article is saying as far as ancient monuments in Mexico with scripts, with ancient scripts on it, this identical to Mende-speaking people of not just West Africa, just any other race or nationality. I didn't find anything. Now, I'm not saying it doesn't exist somehow, but I mean, normally something like that, you put in a pretty general search term. A lot of stuff should come up, like thousands of potential articles or whatever should come up, but nothing came up. So I couldn't find any evidence to back this claim that inscriptions were found on ancient monuments in parts of Mexico that mirror West Indian, some type of West Indian tribes. I just didn't find it. So if any one of you happen to know where that is, or definitely hit me up, email me, send me the link to it. I'd love to see these inscriptions, because that's huge, that's big. When you start talking about doing the research, that's a part of it, because it's like pockets of evidence here and there that I think ancient civilizations left behind to let us know that they were there. Back in the day, they used to put right on the bathroom stalls, I was here, stuff like that. And that's just something we do as humans. We want someone to know, to mark, that we were here. So yeah, I would love to see that. Now, please understand, my position is not to prove or disprove. Rather, Africans were or are indigenous to North America. I just want to kind of give both sides, and then let the people decide. It's up to you. At the end of the day, people are going to believe what they want anyway. So I mean, but again, that's fine. You can believe what you want, but I mean, just because you believe it doesn't make it true. I mean, you could be very passionate about something and be passionately wrong about it, right? So it's very important to to kind of show and prove, as we said as 5%ers back in the day. Whatever you believe, you should be able to show and prove it. All right, moving right along. He goes on to say the term Olmec was first used by archaeologists since the giant stone heads with the features of West African Negritic people were found in a part of Mexico with an abundance of rubber trees. The Maya word for rubber was ole, and so the name Olmec was used to label the Africoid Negritic people represented in the faces of the stone heads and found on hundreds of terracotta figurines throughout the region. Yet, due to the scientific work done by decipherers and linguists, it has been found out that the ancient blacks of Mexico, known as Olmecs, called themselves the Z people or She people. Apart from the giant stone heads of basalt, hundreds of terracotta figurines and heads of people of Negritic African racial features have also been found over the past 100 years in Mexico and other parts of Mesoamerica, as well as the ancient black-owned lands of the southern U.S., South America's St. Augustine culture, and the nation of Colombia, Costa Rica, and other areas. The Louisiana Purchase lands, the southeastern kingdom of the Black Embassy, and other places, including Haiti. And it says, see the magazine, Ancient America. Now, and again, let me stop there real quick. And I have to interject. Again, like I said, that the feature, I mean, clearly, if you look at it on the surface, just take it for what it is. I mean, that big stone head does look, the features look Africanic, right? But what we have to keep in mind, though, Africans aren't the only race of people with those features. Again, like I said, I thought, to me, I said, yeah, it could look African or whatever, but I thought it looked more Samoan. I have like a big Samoan head, because we had a running joke in California. We used to call Samoans, Samoans, like Samoans, like N-words, like Samoa, get it? That's what we used to call them, because they look, the features look so much like us. So, I mean, while yes, Africans do, tend to have more, wider the nose and things like that, there are other races of people that have those features. And of course, we can't tell the complexion by a stone head what the complexion of that person was. We just can go by the big wide nose. And again, I mean, I know most of us do have that nose now, you know what I'm saying? But we can't, that nose is not exclusively to African people, though, is what I'm saying, right? So let's just kind of put that under the hat. Okay, moving along. He goes on to say, various cultural clues and traces unique to Africa, as well as the living descendants of prehistoric and ancient African migrants to the Americas, continue to exist to this very day. The Ouachita Nation of Louisiana is one such group. And it says the Garifuna, or Black Caribs of the Caribbean and the Central America, is another. The descendants of the Yamasee who live in Georgia and the surrounding states is another group. There are also others, such as the Black Californian of Queen Calafia fame, the Black Amazon Queen mentioned in the book Journey by Esplandian by Ordonez de Montalvo during the mid-1950s. Then he says, one of the most impressive pieces of evidence which show a direct link between the Black Olmec or She people of Mexico and West Africans is the presence of sacrificial marks. There's a lot of spelling errors in this. God, you need to try Grammarly, I swear. I guess it's sacrificial marks on some Olmec terracotta sculpture. These sacrificial marks clearly indicate a West African Mandinka or Mende presence in prehistoric and ancient Mesoamerica. Ritual whatever that word is he's trying to spell, I don't know, it's still practiced in parts of Africa and among the Black people of the South Pacific. However, the Olmec marks are not of South Pacific or Melanesian Black origin, since the patterns used on ancient Olmec sculpture are still common in parts of Africa. This style of tattooing is used by the Nuba and the Sudanese African people. In fact, the face of a young girl with keloid scarification on her face is identical to the very same keloid tattoos on the face of an ancient Olmec terracotta head from ancient Mexico. Okay, that's this person's perspective and position. Now, and I'm not reading that as fact, again, because like I said, in academia, it really depends on when you're presenting something like that, and obviously there are no sources cited here in this article, so you take it with a grain of salt. However, I give it face value. What it is. You can do further research yourself on it. And see what you come up with. Because at the end of the day, like I said, you're gonna believe what you want to believe, right? I mean, like I said, when you understand and accept the fact that civilization as we know it started in Africa. For us to be someplace first is not a big deal. I mean, it's just not like, oh, it's not so awe-inspiring. I mean, you know what I mean? It's like, I don't know why we as a people, we get so fixated on things. It really serves us no, I mean, so let's just say we Africans were indigenous to North America. What does that mean? What does that do for us as a people? I mean, what, you know, I mean, Native Americans were here before the Europeans. I mean, how did that work out for them? I mean, you understand what I'm saying? It's like, at the end of the day, it's about, you know, power structure. We still don't have a power structure. We're not in no positions of power. That's why our brother Kyrie's going through what he's going through, because they want to show him that, you know, who has the real power. And that's just it, man. Like, you know, we don't have any real powers, a real economic base or real economic power structure. I mean, the things that really matter to us, the things that really need to get us up out of this condition that we're in, I don't know why we get so fixated on these things like this. You know, black people Moors and this and that, and then we know we're indigenous to America. And I mean, okay, so let's just say we are. What does that do for you? Like, personally, I'm just being, you know, I'm black, okay? So, you know, y'all know what it is with Dr. E. So I don't have no skin in it either way. I mean, you know, my thing is, I know who I am. I know my DNA traces too. I know that I am from the lost tribes of Israel. You know, I already did that lesson. You know, as far as that, I mean, I'm cool with that. I'm trying to help our people get up out of this mess that we're in. I mean, like I said, I guess at the end of the day, it's interesting, you know, but, you know, I just don't really see what the big hubbub is about. Rather, you know, Africans were native here or indigenous to America. But anyway, let's kind of look at the other side of the coin of this argument. Give me 1 second, y'all. And real quick, I wanted to kind of bring attention to something that he said in the article. He said that allegedly these markings or these inscriptions, he said in the article, in his presentation, that it was a Mandinka, and he had Mende in parentheses as if to imply that Mende was somehow Mandinkas, and that's not accurate at all. Mandinkas and Mendes are two totally separate African tribes. So I definitely wanted to bring attention to that, because I know for a fact genetically the Mandinkas are our people. And I mean, when I say our people, I mean Israelites by DNA. The Mende, I'm not really sure, but I know the Mandinkas are our people. But when he said Mandinka and put Mende in parentheses as if they were the same people, they're not. Mende and Mandinka is two totally separate African tribes. I just wanted to point that out real quick. All right, so in the spirit of fairness, this segment is dealing with someone who does not feel or believe that the ancient Olmec civilization were of African descent, and that Africans were not indigenous or native to to America. And this person says Afrocentrics never look at DNA and try. I'm sorry. My apologies. He says Afrocentrics never look at DNA and try desperately to steal everyone's history. Ain't that ironic? They would say that about our people, right? He said the Olmec, like all Native Americans, originated in Siberia and were not Phoenicians, Moors, West Africans, Europeans, but the ancestors of modern Native Americans. And then he says Olmecs were not Moors. They were not Africans neither, the lost tribes of Israel. They were indigenous of America. Now, again, this is this person's perspective that the Olmecs were not of African descent. And then, of course, I'm going to show in the slides and the pictures coming up. They're going to show, I guess, in this little collage here, he's trying to make the comparison that how someone of Native American ancestry looks similar to the Olmec head there. And I mean, I guess if you look at it on the surface for what it is, I mean, I guess it could kind of look, because of this native person looks more kind of Asian-y, Samoan-y kind of. He doesn't look Latino or Spanish at all, not to me. But again, you can't really go by features, man. I mean, because features are some things that's kind of, it's just interchangeable. I mean, we start mixing blood and mixing the races. I mean, you could have some obscure person with features that they shouldn't even have genetically, but they do, because that's just how these genes are just weird, and it works like that. So, I mean, I don't know. Y'all tell me what y'all think If that little collage right there, the guy looks more like the Olmec head there, y'all tell me. I don't know. But anyway, moving right along. All right, and here's a more pronounced collage of I guess supposed Native Americans in comparison with the Olmec head there. I guess he's trying to show that the similarities in the features. I mean, I don't really see it in this particular collage. I mean, like that one, the third picture from the bottom, from the left, like his nose is wide, but it's kind of flat. It's not like kind of raised, like, you understand? Like, and then I don't see the similarities. I mean, I see the similarities they're trying to make. Then he goes on to say that the Olmecs were basically Native Americans based in Mexico, and they're actually Native American people who basically look similar to the Olmecs. Okay, so you say they're native to America. Well, how the hell did they get here then? I'm just saying, I'm just asking the question, because that's what intrigues me more than anything. Because I mean, listen, Africa is the cradle of civilization. Okay, so it doesn't like shock and awe me that we were someplace first or whatever the case may be. What shock and awe me is when someone else is. You know what I'm saying? Like, so yeah, I mean, I'm more intrigued with that. I mean, not that I would really care to look it up and find out where Native Americans came from. I mean, I really don't care. I don't care about the little Native American blood in me. I mean, I don't care. I care about my Y DNA haplotype, where my ancestors came from, the original most part, which for me and majority of us was in Palestine, what they call Palestine, Jerusalem, Israel. That's all I really care about. Like, you know what I mean? So I mean, it's interesting though. We talk about these things and debate or whatever, but I don't have no skin in the game either way. This person goes, hold on. Oh, wait a minute. I gotta hold on. Give me 1 second, y'all. This is actually the same picture in the last segment, or that third picture from the left, but of course with it being enlarged a little bit, it does look more like the Olmec head now. They in this particular picture here, and it says that were the Olmecs black, and then this person's position is nope. Olmecs were Native Americans and are Eastern Eurasians. What does that even mean, right? Like Eurasian, whatever. East Asian related groups and are not sub-Saharan African. Olmecs are descendants of Ice Age Asian migrants who crossed from Asia to Alaska and then eventually from Alaska to the tip of South America. There's been no genetic study that has linked Olmecs with any people who are normally considered black. Now, I like that little migrational lesson they gave there, as far as because I never really read that. That's the first time I heard about them crossing from Asia to Alaska and eventually the tip of South America. I never heard that little. That's interesting. Let's see here. So really the debate continues, right? There's a lot of things about civilization, ancient groups and ancient civilizations of people, that are very intriguing, right? Will we ever really know? No. But I mean, hey, at the very least, it's entertaining, right? Because, you're going to believe what you want to believe. If you're inclined to believe that based on, the features of the Olmec heads, that Africans were here first. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. Okay, cool. Like I said, I mean, when you know and understand that Africa is the cradle of civilization, that's not a far-fetched idea. But I just wanted to kind of present, both sides. Like I said, I'm not trying to prove or disprove. But I just felt like, I've heard about it so much, and a lot of our people are really, passionate about this African and indigenous thing to America. So I just figured, let me do a lesson on it real quick. At the end of the day, y'all know me. I just put it out there, and y'all do, y'all decide what y'all want to believe or whatever. And if you want to do further research, whatever, by all means, I'm just doing my thing. All right. So I hope y'all enjoyed this lesson. Got a couple more. I'm gonna try to get out today. If not, definitely tomorrow. So until then, it's Dr. Ephraim signing off, saying Shalom, elect.